Well, let me tell you, when when it rains, it pours. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Evening Devotion. So we've got, I guess it was a 2 alarm fire on the backside of our loop here. I think there's like 9 or 10 vehicles that went back there, several pump trucks, one big tank truck, one full fire truck. I haven't seen them or heard them come back yet, but they all went a running back there. Um, I don't want to go back there, so I don't want to get in their way, but man, I don't smell any smoke yet, but I hope it don't spread because it's pretty dry still. We just had that rain, but it's still a little dry. And my mom's neighbor has the cops looking for him because evidently he was keeping his girlfriend hostage and beating her, and so he's on the run and they're looking for him. Interesting. Yeah. When things happen, it just seems like it just happens all of a sudden. And there's been craziness around the world. People going after synagogues, the shooters going after this and that, and these place and that place. And it's like, what's wrong with you all? But this should be an example to you of the difference between us, saved, and everyone else. We don't do stuff like that. We don't even think about doing stuff like that. And we don't want to do stuff like that. But the world's losing its mind. And the craziest thing of it is that they don't even see it, even in the midst of doing it. I love these police cam videos when you watch them and they're hollering at the cops and the cops will say, well, stop fighting us. You're resisting. I'm not resisting. And they're actively trying to break their hands free and punch them or push them away or get away from them. Okay, that's literally resisting. I mean, how are you going to stand there and say you're not when you are? It doesn't make any sense. But this is the world. People can be in the very act of doing something. Oh no, I'm not doing that. I've done this personally. Here's a video of what happened. That looks like you right there, doesn't it? I don't care what the video shows. What do you mean you don't care what the video shows? That's you on camera doing this. There is no question about this. That's you. No, it wasn't me. You're on camera. Did your brain stop working all of a sudden after this event? There you are. And they'll still go to jail. They'll get convicted and go to jail. And they'll still not, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm a good person. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not a bad person. They had a gal, I watched one here, I guess it was like 3 weeks ago, a month ago. They had a gal, she had rented a U-Haul truck. And she said, I'm trying to get to go see my mom for Christmas. Driving over 100 mile an hour down the highway, swerving in and out of traffic, dodging everywhere. I saw another one earlier today. A guy on a motorcycle. I didn't see you. What do you mean you didn't see me? I'm in a big supercharged Dodge with all the lights on and the sirens going right next to you. How can you not see me? I don't get it. I just don't get it. But my guess is that the depravity of man is really making itself evident. The depravity of man is revealing itself in all its, nastiness on the world stage. And we're seeing it in full display. People used to hide this stuff. It's not happening now. They're going out of their way to flaunt their depravity. Is there a verse about that or something along those lines when it got close to the end times? I seem to remember there might be a verse, something like that. Anyway, tonight we're going to be reading out of Psalm 39:1. I will take heed to my ways. Indeed, we should take heed to our ways. Look at what's going on in the world and how people are acting. Oh, my mom's neighbor, he just got out of jail. He's on parole right now. And so his parole is violated. I think I know where he is. They said he took off and went this direction. I think I know where he is. But I'm not getting involved because I don't live out there. I told my mom, I said, oh, here's where he might be at this place. She goes, yeah, actually. I said, it's right down the direction he was heading. So anyway, crazy stuff, man. Crazy. So yeah, this is why I'm happy to not have a lot of friends. And I'm happy to not be involved in stuff because look at the nonsense that happens because of it. We need to watch our ways. We need to guard our ways. To the chief musician, to Jeduthun, a psalm of David. I said, I will guard my ways, lest I sin with my tongue. I will restrain my mouth with a muzzle while the wicked are before me. What good would it do for me to talk to them? Because I can get so frustrated that I end up in sin. Better to not say nothing. I was mute with silence. I held my peace even from good, and my sorrow was stirred up. He was so frustrated, he held back everything, and it caused him pain. My heart was hot within me. While I was musing, the fire burned. Then I spoke with my tongue. Lord, make me to know my end, and what is the measure of my days, that I may know how frail I am. Indeed, you have made my days as handbreadth, and my age is as nothing before you. Certainly every man at his best state is but vapor, Selah. Surely every man walks about like a shadow. Surely they busy themselves in vain. He heaps up riches and does not know who will gather them. And now, Lord, what do I wait for? My hope is in you. Deliver me from all my transgressions. Do not make me the reproach of the foolish. I was mute. I did not open my mouth, because it was you who did it. Remove your plague from me. I am consumed by the blow of your hand. I'm starting to smell smoke now. I hope that's not blowing this way. Wind has picked up a little bit. See, I worry because a bunch of years ago, back in 2015, 2016, I think, somewhere around there, they almost, there goes lights right there. Sorry, guys. A few years ago, when the whole county of Bastrop caught on fire, and it was bad, and it was all blowing this way. Everything was full of smoke everywhere. It was rough. It was really rough. And so we live out here, and it's all sand out here. It's like 35 feet of sand. And there's a lot of blackjack oaks, and they drop a lot of limbs. So there's a lot of underbrush that can burn very easily. And I worry because if somebody messes up and causes a big enough fire and they can't catch it, it'll burn across this stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm guessing they got it under control. Anyway, that's why I'm watching and I'm waiting, smelling and listening. If it's going to blow this way, I'm sure they'll come tell us, but oof, it's a little nerve-wracking. Just people need to be responsible. Remove your plague from me. I am consumed by the blow of your hand. When with rebukes you correct man for iniquity, you make his beauty melt away like a moth. Surely every man is vapor, Selah. Hear my prayer, O Lord. Give ear to my cry. Do not be silent at my tears, for I am a stranger with you, a sojourner, as all my fathers were. Remove your gaze from me, that I may regain strength before I go away and am no more. David was in a pretty heavy bout of depression here, but his words ring true. Take heed for your ways. Man, I hope that ain't blowing our way. Fellow pilgrim, say not in your heart, I will go hither and thither, and I shall not sin. So this is on topic with what we were talking about this morning. Right on the same topic. I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there. I'm not going to sin. I'm good. I don't have nothing to worry about. Some people might say that's a reference to once saved, always saved. No, it is not. It is not. There's a little bit of smoke in the trees. It's not a reference to that, because the true understanding of eternal security is we are eternally secure in the Lord. It doesn't mean we're not going to make mistakes and mess up. Or the alternative that people have invented, that they say, well, that means you guys can just sin whatever you want and that's okay. No, that's not what that means. And none of us have ever said that, ever. They made that up. They invented that and accuse us with it. My response to them is, well, that must be terrible to not have eternal security, to not feel secure in your salvation. I'll pray for you, but I can imagine how miserable you are not knowing that whether or not your salvation is sure. For you are never so out of danger of sinning as to boast of security. We can boast. but only to a certain degree, and only as it pertains to our salvation. As far as our walking, we can fail at any moment. The road is very miry. It will be hard to pick your path so as not to soil your garments. This is a world of pitch. You will need to watch often, if in handling it you are to keep your hands clean. There is a robber at every turn of the road to rob you of your jewels. There is a temptation in every mercy. There is a snare in every joy. And if you ever reach heaven, it will be a miracle of divine grace to be ascribed entirely to your Father's power. And that is the miracle. It is a miracle we have faith today. It is a miracle that we can be saved. With man, it is impossible. With God, all things are possible. The only way we get to heaven, the only way we get saved, the only way we go there, the only way we stay saved is because of him, not us. And he holds us up. If he was to just take his hand off us for a second, we would immediately hit the ground. Be on your guard. When a man carries a bombshell in his hand, he should mind that he does not go near a candle. This would be the older ones. Newer ones don't go off like that. And you too must take care that you enter not into temptation. Identify. I used to counsel a lot of people about sin. How do I stop this sin? Identify the temptations. What's triggering the temptation and remove that from your life. You'll be amazed at how much easier it is to get away from those things when the temptations are gone. Even your common actions are edged tools and must mind how you handle them. There is nothing in this world to foster a Christian's piety, but everything to destroy it. I've told you guys that. All of society is designed that way. How anxious should you be to look up to God, that he may keep you? Your prayer should be, hold thou me up, and I shall be safe. Having prayed, you must also watch, guarding every thought, word, and action with holy jealousy. Uh-oh. This fire must be getting bigger. I hear more sirens. Give me a second, guys. Okay, well, that was an ambulance, so I guess somebody got hurt. Oh, boy. All right. How anxious should you be to look up to God that he may keep you? Your prayer should be, hold thou me up, and I shall be safe. Having prayed, you must also watch, guarding every thought, word, and action with holy jealousy. Do not expose yourselves unnecessarily. Over the years, I've tried to avoid certain events, certain, gatherings and that because I knew what was happening, and I was made to feel guilty for not going. Oh, you think you're better than us? No. I don't want to be around that kind of stuff. And I would end up going. Guess what? It was a problem. But I finally came to a place in my life where I don't want to be involved in that. I even did it in my church to the shock and chagrin of everybody there. All right, we're out of here. Well, y'all aren't going to stay for the Easter egg hunt? No, we don't celebrate that part of it. The Easter is for the Lord, not about Easter bunnies and eggs. They couldn't understand that. Well, it's for the kids. It's still not something that should be associated with Jesus Christ, because what does Easter bunnies and colored eggs have to do with Jesus Christ? Nothing. In fact, I'm not going to get into it here, but if you dig into the origins of that aspect of it, and I think Billy Crone has a couple of videos that talk about some of that stuff, it's really pretty bad. Some of the meanings behind it. Same thing with Halloween. Crazy. But see, we haven't been told those things. We haven't been taught those things. So sometimes you have to stand your ground and say, oh, no. I'm not willing to expose myself unnecessarily. Now, there may be opportunities where I need to expose myself. I remember when I was 17, how I got away with this. The only thing I can think of is it was the Lord doing it. And this is going to sound kind of strange, but my cousin Daryl, this was ages ago, I was 17. My cousin Daryl was having a bachelor party, and they went down to this place in Corpus Christi called Lipstick Saloon. and it was a strip club. And they were down there, and I guess they were having a good old time. And then my dad doesn't show up. He rode with my Uncle Leo and all of them down there. My dad doesn't show up. My dad doesn't show up. What the heck's going on? So nobody was answering the phone, so I drove over there. I said, "Hey, Leo, where's my dad at?" Oh, he's still down there at the Lipstick Saloon. He didn't want to leave. And the way he was, his body language, they had gotten into it. Because that's how my dad was when he was drunk. The drunker he got, the more belligerent he got. Nobody else, I mean nobody else, would go down there. He had no ride. So I went down there. I walked in, and the guy didn't card me or nothing. I said, "I'm here looking for my dad." Evidently, he got left here because of at a bachelor party. And I described him. He goes, "Oh, yeah, he's sitting at a table in the middle all by himself." So I paid the cover, and I went in, sat down. And, with all half-naked women around me, I literally could not focus on anything other than him and getting him out of there. Because I've seen the look on his face before, and I'm like, "Hey, Daddy, it's time to go. Everybody else is going to bed. I got work in the morning. Let's get out of here." It took me probably about 10 minutes to talk him out of it and get him to focus and get him out of there, get him out in the car and take him home. If I hadn't have, he would end up getting in trouble with the cops, because he would have started running off at the mouth at the bouncer and then they would have had to call the cops to come get him. He'd have been in jail. Saved him from jail. He thanked me the next day because he realized, I might have gotten close. Evidently, there were some arguments going on I didn't know about. And I'm glad I didn't know about them, but I couldn't focus on anything else. 17 years old, being around a bunch of half-naked women, that's all you're going to look at. Well, you just wanted outside? No? Okay. And I couldn't focus on it at all. I was 100% focused on him. And it was a wrestling match to get him out of there, get him in the car, and get him home. But he did thank me the next day. Yeah, I'm glad you came up there and got me. I still to this day, and now that he's gone, I'll never know. I still to this day don't know what happened. But just looking at the little bit that I look at, he evidently, they got in a huge argument, a big fight. And my dad said some things that probably weren't the right things to say. And so they just left him. So I don't go to those places, and that's the only time I've ever gone to one of those places, because I don't want to because I said that story for this reason. I don't want to expose myself unnecessarily. Why would I want to put temptation in front of myself? So in that particular instance, it was a whole different story. It was for a different purpose, and the Lord was with me on that day. Even this is long before I was saved, but the Lord was with me on that day, because there was no way at 17 I should be able to go in there and come out like that. I mean, the guy should have carded me, and he didn't. So crazy stuff. So don't put yourself in that scenario. Don't willingly put yourself in the way of temptation and then think everything's going to be fine. I'm strong enough. Oh no. I'm not strong enough. The Lord with me is. He's strong enough. But if I put myself in harm's way on purpose, what does it say? Don't tempt thy God. In fact, that was part of the temptation with Jesus, and when Satan took him up there and was trying to tempt him, he said, "Don't tempt thy God. Don't throw yourself off. His angels will bear you up. Don't tempt thy God." That's why you see these skiers, and all of a sudden they have all this good runs, and then all of a sudden one day time they go off the mountain. Don't tempt your God. Don't put yourself in those positions, and you won't have the problems. But if called to exposure, and that story I told you was one of those moments for me. If you are bidden to go where the darts are flying, never venture forth without your shield. For if once the devil finds you without your buckler, he will rejoice that his hour of triumph has come, and will soon make you fall down wounded by his arrows. I was lucky that night. I was surrounded by angels. Otherwise, I couldn't have got in there and out of there. I would have been bailing him out of jail the next day. I don't mean to get all off base and tell stories like that. I've got a lifetime of memories that would be enough memories for two 40-year-old men. Some of the stuff I've seen, and when I look back now, I see where the Lord was in all of it, even before I was saved. It was actually quite astonishing that things went the way they did. Though slain, you cannot be. Wounded, you may be. Though the devil won't take you out, he can take you down. Be sober, be vigilant. Danger may be in an hour when all seemeth secure to thee. When everything is peaceful and quiet and nothing is happening, that's when you pay attention. Because that might be when the hammer drops. There's this old bridge. It was out in this county, and it was fairly well traveled out in this county in Missouri. And it's an old creaky old bridge, and old metal when it made a bunch of noise, this and that. They used to have train tracks on it, and then they made it into a road bridge. They figured, well, trains went across it, they'll hold cars. And they go across that thing, and it'd make groan and creak and make all this noise. And one day, a police officer was going across it. He's driving across. Well, nobody else on there but him. He's driving across, and he was like, bridge ain't making any noise. So he went down, turned around, he came back across it again. He's driving across, got his windows down, he's listening. The bridge wasn't making any noise. He goes, it ain't creaking, it ain't nothing. So he went back to the office, and he put a call out. He says, hey, we need to block off the road on either side of this bridge. I just went across it twice and didn't make a single noise. Because it was known for all the noise it made. It made the news. Didn't make a single noise. He goes, something's wrong. We need to get the engineers down here, the Corps of Engineers down here to take a look at it. Within an hour, that bridge fell. Kind of scary when you think about it. Things are going good and everything's fine, and suddenly, something doesn't feel right. What I love is that as Christians, we have a very unique attribute of we get warned when things are going to happen. We get convicted in the Holy Spirit. Our hearts get convicted. The angels might be around us and say, dude, do not go forward. Do not go to this place. Bad things are about to happen. We don't see that, but they're yelling it at us. Grab you and shake you like a little doll. Don't go there. Be vigilant. Be sober, be vigilant. Danger may be in an hour when all seemeth secure to thee. Therefore take heed to thy ways, and watch unto prayer. Watch your step. No man ever fell into error through being too watchful. May the Holy Spirit guide us in all our ways. So shall they always please the Lord. Guys, I apologize for getting off track and telling these stories, but sometimes it feels like it's appropriate because I have these very unique experiences and memories of things that might take this and put it in a context we understand today. Something that can be visualized, because I look back on these events and all these things that have happened and it fits this. We need to be careful where we go. Now, there are times where we have to go into danger, but the Lord is with us when we do, and He protects us, and He'll surround us. But if we do it knowingly, if we do it willingly, if we go, I'll be fine, Jesus got me. I've had people tell me this on this channel. In this last 7 years I've been doing this, there have been a couple of times people come on there, oh, I'm fine. I can smoke weed. I can go and hang out with everyone. Jesus got me. I said, no, sir. That is not the proper understanding to have on this. You have to watch your ways. You have to be careful where you go. Don't put yourself under this. There's videos on YouTube about people talking about this stuff. that it's okay to do this. Time is going to come when the Lord's going to say, all right, that's enough. No more of you tempting fate, as they say today. No more of you pushing to see how far you can go. Just like I've used this analogy before, like holding on to a little kid and they're trying to get away from you. You're holding their hand and they're stretching out. They're just, leaning way out on the floor. And then finally you just like get them over to the carpet, just bloop. And they look up at you like, what'd you do that for? You were pulling away. I can only hold on so long. Maybe don't do that no more. Sometimes the Lord will do that. Sometimes he'll hold our hand when we're trying to pull away. Sometimes he'll just let our hand go, so we can see what it's like, so we can see the error of our decision making. He'll let us fall into some stuff and have to struggle, because then suddenly we'll realize, whoa, and we'll get up and run back to him. Get up and we'll run back to him. I pray the Lord blesses us with open eyes. And we'll close with this. Bless us with open eyes. I pray that he makes us to be mindful of what we're doing and where we're going and who we're around and what we're around. That he has his word open up to us in a way that we can understand exactly what's going on, so that we don't get caught unawares, so that we don't get ourselves hung up in a situation we shouldn't be in, or get found in a place. I mean, unless it's our ministry, unless this is where we're led to go, there's no business for us to being in those places in full view of temptation. Get away from that stuff. Stay away from that stuff. Don't go near that stuff, because it's just inviting disaster. Now, we can't lose our salvation, because the Lord's the one that preserves that. But I'll quote a cartoon character from the movie Aladdin, the little parrot. He says, "You'd be surprised what you can live through." Sometimes the Lord will let us suffer greatly in order for us to learn our lesson, because he'll let us receive the reward of our actions. And so if we are careful about our actions and watch where we go and what we go do and engage in and be a part of and are around, if we're careful with that, we don't even get disaster on the radar that way. Like Proverbs says, man sees danger coming. A prudent man sees danger coming and hides himself. The foolish walk on and are punished. And this is what we need to do. Stay out of the way. And in this day and age, with the way things are going on, that's the best case scenario most of the time, is just stand back and watch. Watch the show. Stay out of the way. And you see somebody you love, somebody you care about walking in and about to get themselves in danger. No, don't go. Stop. Wait. Don't want to do that. It's not going to end well. And then they go and it doesn't end well, and then they come back. Don't say I told you so. I don't have to. You already know. I don't have to say I told you so. You already know. I warn you because I love you. And because there's a possibility I may have experienced it already and know the end result of these things. So be mindful of your ways. Take heed to our ways. Watch what we do, where we go, and who we're around and what we're around. Because we could find ourselves literally in the devil's den if we're not paying attention. I love you all very much. I bless you all in Jesus' name. Please excuse my rambling. See you in the next video.